This story, The Face on the Wall, is written by Edward Warren Lucas. In this story, the writer asks a question. Do you like to listen the stories? What is your favorite kind? Detective, humorous, suspense, romance, or horror story? Detective means spying, humor, creating fun and laughter, suspense, doubt, romance means affection toward the story, and horror it means terrifying. Other question is, do you think a patch on a wall or floor can resemble the face of a real person? Read the story to find out. So here I read the story and with explanation. So you all have to listen carefully and attentively. We were talking of events which cannot be explained by natural causes at Dabney's last evening. We means the author along with some other colleagues, some friends were sitting at a place and they were discussing about an event that caused by some natural causes at Dabney's last evening. Most of them had given an instance without producing much effect, and most of the persons, those who were sitting there, they gave some examples. Instance means example without producing much effect. But their examples, their instances were not very effective. Among the stranger, to the author, there was a little man with an anxious face, and among those persons there was a little man whose face was very anxious, excited. He watched each speaker with closest attention but said nothing. He was watching every speaker, but he was not giving any answer or response. Then Dabney turned to him and asked if he had any experience he could narrate. Dabney was another person whose name was Dabney. He turned to him, towards the little man, and asked if he had any experience which he could explain. So the little man thought for a moment and said, "Well, not a story in ordinary sense of the word, nothing like most of your examples." He said that I have not any story in ordinary sense, but I want to explain something, and that is a truth I always believe is not only stranger than made up a story. And he said that this is the truth, and it is not a story which can be imagined, but also greatly more interesting. It is a true story, uh, and it is very interesting. I could tell you all occurrence which happened to me personally and which strangely enough completed itself only this afternoon. That man said that he could tell them an occurrence. Occurrence means happening, which happened to him personally, and this happened to him personally, and which strangely enough completed itself this afternoon. And that story, that happening, completed that afternoon only. All the persons, they requested to start the story, and that man started to tell them a story. A year or two ago, he said, I was in rooms in a old house in Great Ormond Street. Now the stranger told them a story that a year or two he was in rooms in an old house in Great Ormond Street. Great Ormond Street is the name of place where he lived. The bedroom walls had been painted by the previous tenant, and the walls of that room had been painted by the previous tenants. Tenants means the people who lived on rent in that room. जो लोग उस कमरे में किराए से रहते थे, उनके द्वारा वो पेंट किया गया था. But the place was damp, and there were great patches on the walls, and that place was very damp. Damp means looking dark, or there were spots and patches on the wall. There were patches on the wall. One of these, as indeed often happens, exactly like a face lying on a bed in the morning, and delaying getting up, I came to think of it as real as my fellow lodger. One of these, as indeed often happens, he said that one of the patch, as it often happens, one of the patch was exactly like a face lying on a bed in the morning. He said that the patch, the face on the wall, it was exactly the face which he had seen, and he began to think about that face, and so he became late, and he thought that it was a face of a person who was who was his fellow lodger. Lodger means one who dwells, साथ में रहने वाला मित्र. While there I fell ill with influenza, and all day long I had nothing to do but read or think. He felt a little bit ill with respiratory disease. Influenza means ill from respiratory disease, and all day long I had nothing to do Whole day that man, he did not anything. He only read and think. And it was then that the face began to get a firmer hold of me, and slowly that face got up set in his mind firmly. That face set up in his mind. It grew more and more real and remarkable, and that face on the wall uh, became a real and remarkable face on his mind. I may say that it filled my thoughts day and night. He said that the face on the wall filled his mind day and night, मीन्स वो जो दीवार में बना हुआ चेहरा था वो उसके दिमाग में बस गया था और दिन रात उसके दिमाग में बना रहता था. There was a curious curve of the nose and the forehead was remarkable. There was a curved nose on the wall and the forehead was very remarkable. Well, I got better. Then he got better, but the face still controlled me. Found myself searching the streets for one like it. He got better, but the face was still in his mind, and he found himself searching the street for one like it. Now he started to search the street the same like the street where he lived. I was convinced. He made sure the real man must exist and him I must meet. He was sure that the real man must be there, he is alive, and he should meet him. I often